The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, had at one point supposedly banned no-knock warrants. This is something that we have talked about multiple times on the show because of the sometimes disastrous results from the way that no-knock warrants have been done. Well, supposedly they were banned and yet still open in the direst of circumstances. When it's most important, when it's an emergency, okay, then you can still do it. Well, they did it in this case to track down a stolen puppy. They used a no-knock raid in a dog napping case. Again, most important. And by the way, I'm a dog lover, but still, bounds of reason on using tactics that regularly result in innocent people being killed. So as in many of the other cases, including, by the way, with Amir Locke recently, video is available, body cam footage. And in the video, it shows MPD SWAT team members ramming and blasting through the front door of a home, smashing side windows in a pre-dawn no-knock raid just last year, well into the period when they're no longer supposed to be using these tactics. You can see a shot from it right here. Just 6 seconds into it, an officer with a breaching shotgun begins firing rounds through the door as another officer runs around the outside of the house, loudly smashing windows. I'm assuming as a distraction, that seems logical to them. Officers zip tied the two residents, a naked man and a mostly naked woman, and put them on the couch under a blanket. SWAT officer says on the video, "I would have to say that we've been very cordial. There's a search warrant going on, okay?" So I will give you more details. I want to allow Sabrina to respond to this. Again, this is overall to try to respond to the fact that a dog had been stolen.
The fact that he called that very cordial, and like I've seen the video too, like the images don't even do it justice how violently their home was broken into when no-knock raids are supposedly not supposed to be happening. I mean, they announce themselves. It's not like they're kindly knocking and being like, "Hello, please." Like, no. They are shooting at their door, and for what? Because of a dog napping, which technically is a property crime because dogs are viewed as property. So it was just absolutely unwarranted on so many levels. They're scarring these people, and it could have gone so much worse. Like if people, like what if the residents were armed in their own home, which they have the right to do so. It could have gone so much worse. These raids are so disgustingly violent and dangerous, and they should not be happening.
Well, I mean, look, you bring up that possibility. We know exactly how that could go down. That's how it went with Amir Locke. Amir Locke had a gun, which he is apparently allowed to have. That's what the right always tells us in his own home. People bust through the door, shining flashlights, and begin shooting as soon as they see it. Now, thankfully, in this particular case, it's just horrific. It's not murderous, but I want to catch you up on the rest of the details. The man, Marvin Johnson, of the two that were stopped by the police, was arrested and charged with aggravated robbery and possession of a firearm by a prohibited person and has since pleaded not guilty. The dog owners reported that a man stopped outside their house, had asked to hold their pit bull puppy, then ran off, but not before slipping and dropping a gun out of his pocket. His girlfriend told police that he had gifted her the puppy and that she had no idea how he got it. She was not charged, but said that she and her 4-year-old son had been evicted over the damage caused by the SWAT team. Again, all of this, as Sabrina rightly points out, in pursuit of the perpetrator of a property crime. And by the way, Minneapolis Police Sergeant David Swirzewski says in his report that the no-knock raid was warranted because a weapon had been used in the original crime and Johnson had prior convictions. Okay, I understand that you are using that as an excuse to do this because apparently you guys just so love this tactic that you were desperately looking for any reason to justify one. I guess it's an exciting way to spend the night. Is that the only way that you could have pursued this? So the belief is that this guy who stole a dog, which by the way, well, is alleged to have stolen a dog, which is wrong, don't do it, and had a gun on him when he did it. It fell out of his pocket. They believe he definitely has another gun. And so we need to bust into his house in the middle of the night to stop him from killing cops pursuing him over stealing a dog. Again, like whether it's regular people with guns doing stand your ground or these cops, the way that they view how people will respond makes no sense to regular people. The assumptions that go into their decision making. And if they are really worried about this guy shooting at them, startling someone in the middle of the night and busting in their house seems like a really weird way to avoid that harm. Sabrina, what do you think?
And that's the thing. I don't think that they were actually looking to avoid harm. I mean, I have to imagine that on some level, some of these people actively like doing these raids. It's the most action that they probably see.
Guess, yeah.
I mean, they're doing this for a puppy. A puppy. Their intention was not to minimize harm whatsoever. Speaking of puppies. Yeah, just disgusting on their part.
A little surprise guess there. Yeah. Don't steal dogs. That is a bad thing. Yeah. This is worse. And for this to happen constantly and it to be used in an obviously well-documented racially discriminatory fashion, for them to be so ready to use violence if there's any justification for it, just don't do it. There are other ways to arrest people. And I know that because when it's like, like a high profile financial crime, generally they're not busting down the door of their penthouse apartments in the middle of the night. They believe that they can probably bring the people in there. This guy stole a dog. He didn't just commit a terror attack. There's no reason to believe that he's necessarily going to be immediately violent, unless you believe that certain people will be, which they clearly do. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.